Right. Good morning, everyone. So let's discuss your answers now. So we asked, the first question was, differentiate series and parallel circuit. So very, very easy. In a series circuit, your voltage is added. In a parallel circuit, your voltage are the same. And it splits current. So whatever the appliance need, it draws current from your circuit. So far, wala ako nakitang maling sagot. So I trust everyone knows this. Second question is, equation for Ohm's law is I equals V times R. I'm sorry, wait. Someone's trying to enter the room. So give the equation for Ohm's law. Give the equation for Ohm's law. It's very simple. You remember your triangle. Voltage is equals to your current times your resistance. So V times equals I times R, or you can use I equals V over R, or R is equal to V over I. Okay. Difference of power and energy. Look at the screen, friends. Please look at the screen. Very simple. We discussed it before. Here is power and energy. Right? So I hope you got that correct. Stop screen sharing. Next question is what is an insulator and why do we need an insulator? Insulators are materials that do not conduct electricity. It makes your circuit safe. Pwede mong hawakan yung wire kasi paano mo siya ilalatag kung di mo siya mahawakan. It prevents technically, yeah, it prevents damage dun sa conductors natin. And more importantly, it protects your life, properties, it protects you. So that's the simple answer. Next question is, how do we attach together or connect rigid conduits? We use something called a conduit, but I will consider threaded fittings, and then someone gave me a very detailed answer na sa box pa siya nagko-connect. Meron tayong mga tinatawag na boxes. We'll learn about that. So meron pa siya dito. Merong sumagot ng option 1, even when napag-usapan natin sa Zoom na you have to refresh your forms. So sorry for you. Last question is, in your own words, define voltage drop. Voltage drop is when your voltage or the rate of your voltage is lessened, nababawasan, nagda-drop, and it's because of the friction inside your wire. That's the simple answer, but I will read all your answers because I think tama naman mostly yung nabasa ko so far. So how do you think of your assessment quiz? Mas better ba na ganito kaysa naka-multiple choice kayo or identification? Kasi we're sure that you're getting the concept, you're learning the concept, you're learning the thought, the idea. So I think yun yung aim natin kasi. Ang goal natin is maintindihan natin siya. So pag nasa field na tayo or mag-board exam na tayo, madali na for us tandaan yung mga terms kasi we know how things work. Agree, disagree?
Agree po, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Ate Keith. Anyone else may questions, comments, suggestions dun sa assessment exam? Because that will be how your midterms and your final exam will be. Or would you want to go back to your multiple choice exam para makapanghula tayo ng sagot? Or is this...
Mas okay po yung ganyan po.
Yeah, for me, mas okay kasi I get to see if you're actually learning yung topic natin or if there's something that I need to address. Example, ibang class pero meron siyang ibang sagot. So, sabi niya is Romanesque architecture came from Greek architecture, nakokorek ko agad. Ibig sabihin, nadadala natin yung tamang thought, tamang idea, tamang concept as we go on. Everyone okay with it? Thumbs up if you're fine. Or send me a message if may comments kayo or suggestions with how it went. And now we start our discussion. I hope you're all ready. You had your breakfast and all. So this is a very interesting topic for me kasi I worked for an LED company before. So this is something that we know by heart. Lighting fixtures. Define lighting. So very easy to read. Ano ba yung ilaw? We can all read this together after when I send you the slides. So definition of light. Something or an object that illuminates a place. That's the simple definition. The simple definition is lighting. Ito yung nagbibigay ng ilaw sa atin. Ito yung nagbibigay ng liwanag in place of the sun, which gives us natural lighting. Copy? Gets everyone? That's our simple definition, but of course you can always read. You can always read the definitions that we have gathered. I'll give you time. But yeah, you just have to remember, we're just defining lighting for the purpose of this discussion. Moving forward, how do we measure light? We have different SI units when it comes to measuring light. The first element or the first concept that we have to learn is the luminous flux. It came from the Latin word fluxus, meaning the amount of light that is emitted per second. Pinusukat siya in terms of lumens. Lumen is the SI unit for luminous flux. So ito yung measure kung gaano kalakas yung ilaw. Gets? Copy? Nasusundan? Okay. Intensity of light is measured in candela. So pag yung light, nag-travel na siya into a direction, kung gaano siya kalakas, or kung ano yung rate ng kanyang power or yung visible light, yung quantity ng visible light that is emitted in a straight angle or in a single direction, that's what we call the candela. Candle. For you to remember it. You don't even have to, we're just discussing candela for the purposes of this discussion, pero I'll let you know mamaya kung ano lang yung dapat nating i-consider at tandaan. Sorry, I forgot watts. Watts in flux is the unit of measuring electrical power. We can relate this is, di ba nasabi ko na sa inyo last time na magbibili tayo ng ilaw, we have different wattages, correct? Bibili ng ilaw, merong let's say 8 watts, merong 15 watts, merong 20 watts. The higher the watts, mas maliwanag, mas malakas yung binibigay niyang ilaw, correct? Agree, we follow? We're slowing down the discussion a bit because that's the purpose of why I asked you to do the class assessment para everyone can follow. Is that okay with you? Medyo mas matagal lang yung discussion natin, but at the very least, babagalan lang natin ng konti. Sige. Moving forward, illuminance. Illuminance. Yung liwanag niya. Yung tumatama sa surface. So this is measured in lux. It's an SI unit of, it's the SI unit of light intensity. Okay. Dahan-dahan, lumens is the SI unit of flux, kung gaano siya kalakas. Candela is the unit of intensity of light, kung gaano siya kalakas pag tumatravel na siya or nagta-travel na siya in a direction towards a plane. Si illuminance, it's measured in lux. Si lux is yung liwanag na nasa surface na. Let's say, ganito, ilaw, mamaya explain natin, ilaw ha. Ilaw kung gaano siya kalakas, that's your lumen. Sa surface, let's say sa lapag or sa table, kung saan natin siya susukatin, that's what we call the illuminance or the lux. Napafollow natin? Pag di napafollow, taas tayo ng kamay and then we will try to address. Everyone's following? Yes? Sige, let's give you 5 minutes to absorb. Ay, guys, sorry I read also. You don't have to take notes kasi I'm sending you the slides. Pag meron ako sinabi na wala sa slide, yun lang yung in-note nyo. Kasi you get the slides naman after, and you get the video links after. So there's no need for you to take notes in class. You just need to listen intently so you will remember. Okay? Let's move on. Luminance. Luminance is the intensity of light from a surface per unit area in a given direction. You don't even have to remember that. Okay, so I included a simple explanation for an easier understanding. Think of a lamp that produces light. So imagine meron kang source of light. The light from the lamp is measured in lumens. The light that falls on the surface is measured in lux. The human eye sees this visually in terms of brightness or luminance, and that is measured in candela. Gets na? Okay, one more. Yung lakas mismo ng ilaw, that's what we call the flux, the luminous flux. So that's measured in lumens. Yung ilaw, pag nasa surface na siya, tumama na siya sa surface, we call that the lux, or the illuminance, we call that the lux. We measure that in lux. And kung ano yung nakikita natin as light travels from the source to the surface, that's what we call the luminance or the brightness. So yun yung nakikita natin visually. That is, we measure that in candelas. Understood, everyone? Yes?
Yes po.
Yes po. May question ba bukod kay Max? Naintindihan ni Max? Kayo ba? Ay, grabe. Si Max lang nakaintindi.
Naintindihan po, ma'am.
Sige, Ivan. Feeling ko naman naintindihan ni Ivan kasi running for honors siya. Oh, in simple sense, mga kaibigan, eto na, naglagay na tayo ng bombilya. Luminous flux. Yan, nakita natin. Let's turn on my pointer. Let's turn on my pointer for a while. Wait, yeah. You see my pointer, guys? Yung lumens is kung gaano siya kalakas from the source. Yung candela is how we see it. How we see it. Yung illuminance is kung ano na yung tumatama sa surface area. Okay? The luminance, this is also what we see. It's candela per meter squared. So kung ano yung nakikita natin, ito yung napaperceive natin. Itong dalawa, yung perception ng human eye. Ito, as it travels, ito pag tumama na siya. This is, the lux naman, the illuminance, lumens per meter squared is what we call the lux. Okay? So, sorry. Yan. Mas naiintindihan ba natin pag ganito illustration? Kahit pangit yung drawing? Gets?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Joshua. So I'll give you time. Yan siya. Inulit-ulit na natin ha. Luminous flux, measured in lumens, kung gaano siya kalakas. Intensity is what we perceive. That's measured in candelas. The illuminance is yung rate niya na ma-measure talaga natin. Ma-measure talaga natin yung lux, mga kaibigan. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Na ma-measure natin yung lux, we use this kind of device. This is what we call a lux meter. Bakit natin mini-measure yung lux? Do you have any idea? Ba't kailangan natin i-measure yung lux? Napaka-OC naman, pati liwanag, mini-measure. Ano ba yan, ma'am? May
Ma'am,
idea?
Ma'am, yung sa ibang ilaw po, para pong napoproduce din po sila ng heat. Yung ilaw po.
And that's one actually. Mamaya may malalaman natin yung importance ng heat and light pag pumunta na tayo sa types of lighting fixtures. Sige. Pero mini-measure kasi natin yung lux. For example, I have an office building. I have an office space. I have an office room. Para makapagtrabaho yung tao, they need a certain amount of lighting. Tama? Makakapagtrabaho ka ba sa dim light? Well, kung ako ikaw, makakapagtrabaho ka siguro sa dim light kung napapansin natin yung ilaw ko lagi madilim. Diba? Pero ikaw ba makakapagtrabaho kapag dim light, naka-mood lighting ka? We have to know. Bilang arkitekto, aside from knowing how these things work physically, how these things work on the surface, alam natin kung paano gumagana yung ilaw. May kable tayo ng wire. Alam natin kung saan dumadaan, di ba? Kung saan nanggagaling from Meralco to our power boxes, papunta dun sa unit natin or sa bahay natin, papunta sa mga switch and outlet natin. Alam na natin yon. But now, we have to understand ano bang epekto sa atin psychologically, mentally, or subliminally ng ilaw? Gets? Yes? Pag hindi nyo naiintindihan, please cut me anytime, but raise your hand for you to be acknowledged. Okay? So, pag meron akong office space, going back, office area, we usually measure the lux sa table. Sa table ko siya mini-measure. Ako hindi sa lapag. Pwede mo naman gawin sa lapag. Pero sa table, dapat meron akong certain number or certain amount of lumens para ma-set yung utak ko na this is my working area. It's bright enough for me to be productive. Gets? Kasi kung madilim siya, tatamarin ka, antokin ka, di ba? We have the mood lighting kasi lighting sets the mood. That's also one importance. Kailangan Yung tamang liwanag na bibigay natin for the tamang trabaho. For the tamang purpose. Okay? Anyone, question, comment, suggestion so far? Or meron kayong gustong idagdag sa sinabi ko? Or naiintindihan natin so far? If naiintindihan natin, can you please react, thumbs up kayo kasi may mga nakikita akong confused faces? Yes, naiintindihan natin. Yes, John Reb, nag-thumbs up. Yes, Josa. Pag tinanong ko kayo, masasagot nyo? Yes? Explain nyo yan sa akin ng naka-essay ulit. So remember, the importance why we measure kasi we want to ensure that the right amount of light is given. So we measure the lux. We know already the difference between the lux, the lumens, and the candela. We know already why we measure. So let's move on. Types of lighting based on function. Ambient lighting. We have two kinds of ambient lighting, interior and exterior ambient lighting. Ambient lighting is also general lighting. What do I mean when I say general lighting? When we say general lighting, ibig lang sabihin nun, this is the kind of lighting that gives your space, your room, your area, a uniform amount of lighting. Para makapag-go on ka in your life, kailangan mo ng ilaw. So you have your ambient lighting. So let's read. Bright, powerful illumination that lights up a room in its entirety. General lighting, or now more commonly known as ambient lighting, is made for a single purpose: to provide uniform levels of illumination over the entire space, completely independent from other lighting sources. What does this mean? Ibig sabihin nito, sa isang kwarto, kahit marami kang ilaw, basta naka-on ang general lighting mo, which is your central lighting usually, hindi mo kailangang iasa sa ibang kinds of lighting, let's say table lamp, night lamp, or LED strip light. Hindi mo kailangang iasa para magkaroon ka ng ample amount of light. So pag naka-on, let's say yung general lighting mo, yung ilaw mo sa gitna, someone wants to enter. Okay. So pag naka-on yung general lighting mo, you get uniform levels of ilaw. Sa mga bahay natin, wala tayong hindi naman lahat tayo super well off. So yung mga katulad kong dukha, shout out sa mga katulad kong dukha. So yung mga katulad kong dukha, meron lang tayo usually isang bombilya, di ba? Sa kwarto. Usually yung iniikot lang, yung receptacle lang, di ba? Yung kable dumaan lang sa kisame, tapos may receptacle lang. Tapos iikutan lang natin ng bombilya para madaling palitan. O, yung mga dukhang katulad ko, ganun yung ilaw natin sa bahay. So, yun yung general lighting natin. Medyo nakaluwag-luwag ka sa buhay. Meron kang table lamp, meron kang desk lamp. So, dapat, kahit hindi nakabukas yon, basta nakabukas yung bumbilya natin sa gitna, we get the uniform amount of lighting. So, that's the purpose of ambient lighting. Gets? Yes? Yes? Examples. Bayan? Examples. Ceiling-mounted fixtures, LED downlights, track lights, wall-mounted fixtures, or floor lamps. Later on, we'll know more about the kinds of lighting fixtures, but for now, we have to know the different types of lighting based on their function. Moving on, exterior ambient lighting. So kung meron kang interior ambient lighting, meron ka ring exterior ambient lighting. So this is your general light sa labas. Imagine your street post, ganun lang yun. You can read this on your own. We're not going to read this. This is very long, but I made sure na this is very digestible for you. Okay, so exterior ambient lighting, you just think of your street lights, your lampposts paggabi. You think of the lights that give you a sense of safety and security when you're walking home. This is your exterior ambient lighting. Same purpose, to give an area a uniform amount of lighting. Medyo mahirap i-contain yung area kasi open space sa labas, correct? Examples, bollards and path lights, sconce and wall-mounted lighting, canopy lighting, or recessed fixtures in overhang structures. Recessed fixture, it's a general term ha. Ibig lang sabihin yan, yung lighting fixture mo naka-recess, nakatago. Hindi siya exposed. Nakatago sa kisame or nakatago sa wall, usually sa kisame pag recess, or lantern and street posts. Okay, a different type of lighting. This is actually not a kind of lighting, but mood lighting per se. This is a soft kind of lighting that aims to change the mood or set the mood or set the ambience, not the ambient. Ambient is not ambience, guys. So mood lighting is used to set the ambience in an area. If you know your gaming room, sino yung naka-LED dito nung nakalagay, ay naka-RGB dito nung nakaraan? Is this the class? Na merong naka-RGB yung kanyang workstation, tapos merong RGB headset, yung keypad. Dito ka ba? Si Kat po, o di ba? Taga dito siya. So I'm correct. So yun, that's what we call the mood lighting. You set the mood for a specific task. Eh kung mas gaganahan siyang mag-aral pag naka-RGB siya or mas tingin nila mas magaling sila maglaro, pag marami silang RGB sa computer, so be it. Kanya-kanyang trip yan. Pero, I mean, that's the purpose of mood lighting. Do we follow? Mabilis, mabagal. Sakto lang. Nasusundan, naiintindihan. Naririnig ako. Yes? Ayokong matapos yung SEM na hindi nyo alam yung mga ganitong bagay kasi hindi kayo tinuruan, tapos pinag-plate lang kayo, okay? So, cooperate with me, makinig tayo intently, and digest natin to. Kasi lighting is very useful pag nagtatrabaho na kayo, lalo na yung mga sumagot sa akin na gusto daw nila mag-interior design. Even sa drawings natin are you familiar with the term chiaroscuro? Sa HOA nyo, sa TOA nyo, na-discuss yun? Yung lightness or yung darkness ng drawing, it sets the mood, di ba? Pag mas dark yung drawing, mas mabigat yung feeling. Pag lighter yung drawing, happy. Even sa movies, we have what we call a mise-en-scene or kung paano sinet up yung lighting. Imagine pag love story, pag love story yung palabas, maliwanag yung setup. Pag comedy, light din yung setup. Pero pag horror, lagi madilim. Very obvious reason. Your lighting sets an impression. It tricks your mind. It's actually something that's used to set up your mind. Magbigay ng mindset sa'yo, uy, madilim. Nakakatakot to. Uy, madilim. Ano to? Malungkot siguro to. Di ba? Bakit pag sa movies, naglalakad sa ulan, tas gabi, lagi malungkot? Meron bang ganun na masaya? Bihira, di ba? Di ba? So, you see the importance of lighting, not just in the general sense, pero let's say lighting in our drawings, lighting in movies, lighting in di ba? Gets? Napapollow? Hindi. Questions, comments, suggestions so far. Basahin nyo na lang ito mag-isa. Napakahaba nito. Questions? Wala. Max, nasusundan mo. Hindi ka na naman naka-on cam. Hindi ka na naman namin nakikita. Wala ka pa ring webcam, Max.
Wala po, ma'am. I'm broke.
Ako din, Max. Tapos na isang hindi ka pa namin nakikita. Char. Anyway, moving on. Naintindihan nyo, Another kind of lighting based on function is what we call the task lighting. So a task lighting is a direct lighting specifically used for tasks. Meron pala tayong direct and indirect lighting. So si mood lighting is a kind of indirect lighting. So you can read on that on your own kasi that's something na hindi nyo naman din super kailangan. So let's focus on what you need. You have your direct lighting, you have your indirect lighting. The task lighting, based on purpose, is a kind of direct lighting na specific to aid you or to help you in certain tasks. For example, kanina sinasabi ko, may ambient lighting ka. May general lighting ka in your room. Pag mahirap ka, ganun lang. Kami ganun lang dati. Pag nakakaluwag-luwag kang konti, may table lamp, may desk lamp, merong mga ring light. That's another kind of task lighting. It helps you accomplish a specific task. Pag nagbabasa ka, meron kang bedside table lamp. Diba? It's not dependent on your ambient lighting. They're not dependent on each other. But task lighting it has the sole purpose of helping you accomplish a task para ma-reduce yung strain level sa mata nyo. Or para walang nakakairitang shadow. Bakit pag ang lampshade nandito sa left side natin lagi? Na-realize ko lang yan bakit sa left lagi naglalagay ng lampshade kasi madalas ang tao kanan, right-handed, para hindi nabablock ng arms yung ilaw. That's one example of task lighting, guys. So everyone, we follow. Example of task lighting, desk lamp, portable lamps, mga rechargeable lamp. na binibenta ni Omni, ni Opal, ni Firefly, yung mga rechargeable lamps. That's one. Under cabinet lamps, ito, meron kang countertop. You see the photo, may countertop, ito yung range, ito yung under the cabinet na ilaw. Kasi, I realized the importance of this when I worked in a condo. We provide them with cabinets, overhead cabinets, base cabinet ng kitchen. And then someone told me, ang dilim daw maghiwa kasi yung ilaw nang gagaling sa likod niya. Kasi usually, the cabinets are wall-mounted. Hindi naman yan lulutang mag-isa in the air. You have to mount it on the wall. It has to be mounted somewhere. So, wala daw siya ilaw sa ilalim. Mahirap daw maghiwa. The solution that I proposed was, lagyan siyang task lighting. Something like this. Different kinds, pero maraming klase yung ganon, under cabinet lightings. So another example is downlight or directional recessed fixtures or pendant lighting. Next type of lighting, we have the accent lighting. Accent lighting, based on the term accent, this is used to accent something. So, pag gusto kong i-accent yung wall ko, look at the photo. Hagdan siya with the vertical pins, tapos naglagay siya ng yung some pins niya ay merong ilaw. So, this is a type of lighting that grabs your attention, or parang if you want to put emphasis on something, this is the kind of light that you use. For example, museum lights. These are considered as accent lightings kasi you want to highlight the photo, you want to highlight the portrait, you want to highlight the painting. Other examples are wall-mounted fixtures, possible. Katulad nitong kanina, wall-mounted yan. LED strips, track lights, like the ones that we use in the museums, directional recessed fixture, or downlights, depending on how you use it. We're just putting it here para makita nyo kung ano-ano yung pwede nyong gamitin on these types of lighting. This is not absolute. There may be other kinds, but these are the most common ones that I know and I've used and that you may need someday. So lastly, we have our decorative lighting. Look at the chandelier. That's a decorative lighting. Your general lighting should not rely on your chandelier. Naka-on or naka-off ang chandelier, meron dapat general lighting. Okay? Copy, gets. Has anyone ever drew an RCP? Anyone in this class who's familiar with reflected ceiling plan, raise your hand. Walang may alam ng RCP. Yes, wala? Sige.
Ngayon pa lang po ma'am gagawin sa plate po sa BT.
BT, ngayon pa lang gagawin. Sige. So, before I show you a sample of a plan, your decorative lighting fixture examples are pendant lighting, wall sconces, table and floor lamps, ceiling fans with light kits. That's an example of decorative lighting. Okay. Before I continue with the discussion, can you still see my screen? Yes? You can still see my screen? Okay, wait
Yes
lang.
po, ma'am.
Ayoko makita nyo, kaya I will just stop screen sharing. So, wait a while. Okay, this one na lang. I'll open this one. Kita screen ko? Kita screen? You see my screen, guys?
Yes po ma'am.
Nawala po.
Ay, wait. Okay. Wait lang, friends. I'm working on it. I want to show you something kasi hindi ko kayo nakakita. This is one project that I did. Okay, dun tayo sa CAD. Where is my RCP? Hindi, dito na lang tayo sa layout para mas madali. Can you see?
Yes po, ma'am.
Okay, you can see, so this is your RCP. We only use 6 kinds of lights kasi ito lang gusto nila. So this is your living area. Kita. Meron tayong provision sa gitna for a chandelier, but the general lighting are this one. DL1, DL2, downlight 1, downlight 2. These are types of light. Legend, kayo bahala mag-provide kung anong klaseng ilaw gagamitin nyo. But this one, these 4 ones are connected together. So pag nag-switch ako ng isa, itong DL1 ang bubukas. Yung DL1 is full white. So yung puting ilaw, siya yung DL1. If I want to set the mood na manonood kami ng movie or gusto ko lang chill lang, I will turn on the other switch, which is for the DL2. Kasi I provided a 3-gang switch here. 1 for the chandelier, 1 for the DL1, 1 for the DL2. So pag nakabukas si DL2, mas warm yung white, mas mahina yung wattage. Let's check the specs. DL2 is 5 watts only. 5 watts only, oh. So, mas mahina siya and then mas, siya. Sige, enough of the sharing. So, nakakita na tayo ng RCP. Close ko na yung CAD kasi naiinis na akong bagal. Anyway. So, nakita natin, may iba-iba tayong klase ng lighting. Si decorative lighting should not be dependent on ambient lighting. Or si ambient lighting should not be dependent on decorative lighting. Nakabukas or nakapatay ang chandelier natin, dapat may certain amount of ilaw na nakikita para mag-function tayo. Any questions so far? Question, comment, suggestion, or naintindihan ng lahat? Questions, comments? Questions, comments, suggestions, violent reaction, do you follow? Nasusundan ng lahat? Nasusundan? Yes? Yes, Josa, nasusundan mo? Yes, okay. Nasusundan mo, Adrian? Yes?
Yes po.
Yes po. Christopher, nasusundan?
Yes po.
Okay, so moving forward. Common types of lighting fixtures. May hula ba kayo? Ano-ano to? Wala na kayong time manghula. Ito na siya. Common type of lighting fixture is light bulb. So, light bulbs, kinakabit lang natin siya sa receptacle. Meron tayong iba-ibang klase ng attachment or yung tinatawag nating ports or yung kanyang dulo. But the most common, I think, is the E27 or E40. You have to check that out for yourselves. So you have 4 types of bulbs for residential use. You have your incandescent, you may filament. You have your incandescent, the one with the filament. You have your fluorescent bulb. Hindi po siya inimbento ni Agapito Flores. Huwag kayo maniniwala sa mga elementary teachers nyo. Hindi si Agapito Flores. Ano yun? Siya ba ang tinuro sa inyong nakaimbento ng fluorescent light? When you were in elementary, sino ang tinuro sa inyong nakaimbento ng fluorescent light na Pilipino daw? You don't remember? It's not Agapito Flores, friends. At hindi yun ang reason ba't siya fluorescent ang tawag. You have the halogen light, and of course, you have your LED lights. So far, your LED lights are the most efficient when it comes, in terms of lighting, yung energy na ginagamit niya, and in terms of illuminance. Kasi LED lighting provide you more light with less power compared to your fluorescent, especially compared to your incandescent bulb. When you use LED lights, you're actually saving money sa electric consumption natin and mas mahaba yung buhay ng LED lights natin. And later, I'll explain to you why. I will explain to you why na pala now. Okay, so this is your LED downlight. This is an example of LED downlight. I did not include a lot of lights. These are just the common lights that we use. So, your LED downlights could be recessed or they could be exposed. When they are recessed, they have this kind of body or structure. Meron siyang clip. Yes, may nag-unmute. Wala kang gustong itanong, Ate Kate? Nag-unmute ka? Wala. Wala. I'm assuming wala kasi nag-mute ka ulit agad. Okay. Your LED downlight could be recessed or it could be exposed. What do I mean when I say recessed? It means nakatago siya sa kisame. You can see my pointer or not? Can you see my pointer? No. Wait a while.
Wala
Okay.
naman po.
You can see my pointer. Wait a while. Wait a while. I will open my pointer. Now, you see?
Yes po.
Okay. When your downlight is recessed, you have this kind of structure. Now, why am I sharing this with you? Kasi you have to know how to do this. You have to know paano siya kinakabit. Meron kang kisame. Here. Bubutasan mo siya sa size ng ilaw mo. Papasok mo yung ilaw mo. I-clip mo tong clip na to. This is a clip. You clip this para hawakan siya sa kisame safely in place. And it will look like this in section. Para pag nagpunta kayo ng mga construction conventions, pag gumagawa na kayo ng sarili niyong project, hindi kayo kayang lokohin ng mga foreman sa site, hindi kayo kayang lokohin ng mga tao because you know kung paano siya ginagamit. Okay, parts of an LED downlight. You have your LED chip. This is the one that gives you your light. You have your LED driver, parang driver sa computer. This is your panel printed PCB. You have your PCB here. You have your control board here. It controls your LED chip. Kailan siya magliliwanag, gaano siya kaliwanag, kung may dimmer siya or what, kung nag-iiba siya ng kulay, this will all be in the driver. You may or may not have a remote or it may connect directly to your switch. That's fine. Pero now we have lights that can connect to your Wi-Fi, to your phones. So, pag nakakabit na yung downlight mo, na recess, this is how it looks like. You guys can Google kung anong itsura pag naka-exposed siya. Para lang siyang nakaumbok dito, pero may finish siya usually. So, you have your reflective cup. We call this as a reflector. This is the reflector. Yung ilaw dito, usually, nag-reflect muna siya dito bago siya tumama dito kay diffuser. Your diffuser is usually frosted or matte para mas makalat yung pag-diffuse niya or mas makalat yung ilaw. Yung beam angle, that would depend kung paano yung design ng reflector. One thing I've learned over the past years that I've been working is that pag LED yung ilaw, mas effective if yung finish ng reflector ay yung mga sandblasted finish. Kasi itong mga diamond finish, yung mga ganito na maraming shiny something, this works better with CFL. I don't know if anyone has noticed, pero that's something I've noticed with the installations or the lighting fixtures that I do now. Any question with regards to your downlight, LED downlight? None?
Wala na po, ma'am.
Okay, Dexter, I want to show you something. You have your driver, you have your LED. What is this? What is this one? Itong nakaumbok.
Ano na to?
Do you know?
Ma'am, para po siyang yung halimbawa po ano na to, nakalimutan ko na yung tawag.
Sige, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Pero after this class, I want you to remember this.
Parang
This is a
motor po
heat.
sa tubig yata yan eh.
Friend, ilaw to. Ba't motor sa tubig? Hindi, this is what we call a heat sink, John Ray.
Parang lang po eh.
Oh, ganun itsura niya, di ba? Pero sa drawing siguro ganun itsura niya.
Parang lang po.
Pero ganito siya, friend, oh. This is what you call a heat sink. Heat sink. Ito siya. Heat sink. This is what you call a heat sink. Anong purpose niya? Do you know, guys? No. No? Okay.
Parang exhaust po.
Oh, well, Max, pwede natin sabihin parang siyang exhaust. It functions like that. Pero just to give you an idea, very important si heat sink when it comes to LED downlights kasi it extends the life of your fixture. Why? Lahat ng ilaw gumagawa ng init. Di ba kanina sabi ko malalaman yung importance ng heat and light? Lahat ng ilaw gumagawa ng init. Your LED chip is making heat. Your incandescent filament is making heat. Your fluorescent light, di ba pag hinawakan yung ilaw pag bagong patay, mainit? Yes? Nakapagpalit na ba kayo ng nakundibiglang ilaw pag tinanggal nyo, mainit?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, Dexter, yes. I trust that you know. Pero your heat sink is important kasi this is the one that dissipates the heat. Parang exhaust, sabi ni Max, you can treat it like that. Pero siya yung naglalabas ng init from your ilaw. Therefore, habang gumagawa ng init sa LED, nilalabas niya. Usually may thermal paste din na nilalagay dyan, parang PC. Di ba yung PC natin may mga fans, may mga heat something to dissipate the heat. Kasi most of our electronics, they produce heat. So, ilaw din natin, it produces heat. Ngayon, pag mainit siya, nakaka-damage siya ng circuit. Sorry, not the circuit. Nakaka-damage siya ng ilaw. Nakaka-damage siya ng LED chip. Nakaka-damage siya ng buong system ng LED downlight mo. So, habang nag-dissipate siya ng heat, umiiksi din yung buhay niya. So that's why your heatsink is important. Pag nakakita kayo ng manipis na LED downlight, tanungin nyo agad, gaano katagal buhay nito at gaano katagal warranty nyo. Kasi I assure you, napakaiksi ng buhay ng ganon. You see, yung malalaking ilaw that we use, they have a bigger heatsink. Kasi alam nila, mas malakas yung power, mas malakas din yung i-give off na heat. And mas malakas yung heat, mas madaling madadamage, mas iikli yung buhay ng ilaw ko. So para ma-prevent ko yun, lalatihan ko din yung heatsink ko. Everyone follows? Yes? Tango-tango na lang tayo, friends. Nasusundan natin? Nasusundan? Yes? Habang tumatango kayo, nag-i-scroll ako dun sa mga naka-on cam. So any questions, comments, suggestions so far? Questions, comments, suggestion, or naintindihan niyo yung ilaw? You know very well? Yes? Very important for you guys, for us as architects, to know the electrical system, how it works. You have to know your plumbing system. Pero tayong mga arkitekto, mas may paki tayo kung anong itsura niya after. This is why we have different kinds of lighting, different kinds of pukol ng ilaw, different beam angle of your light, different itsura for the aesthetic reason. Similar with plumbing. Iba-iba itsura ng gripo, iba-iba itsura ng shower, iba-iba itsura ng mga sink. May bilog, may ceramic, may stainless, may square, may malalim, mayroon pang heart. Because as architects, you have to be concerned with how it will look like in the overall feel. Ngayon, when it comes to lighting, you're not just concerned on how it looks like. You're more concerned on how it will make your space look like dahil sa pagbato niya ng ilaw. Okay? Gets? Naintindihan natin? Nasusundan natin? Ang tagal ng Shopee ko, mga kaibigan. Anong oras na? Naintindihan natin? Bakit ganun? Bakit hindi siya madili-deliver? Anyway. Naintindihan natin, guys, so far? Yes? Questions, comments, suggestions, violent reactions. Gusto ko pagtapos ng klase at pagtapos ng SEM, alam nyo to by heart. Ivan question, Adrian question, Jeremy, Jeffrey, Joshua, Tangay, roll call. May question so far? Naintindihan natin? Sure, Ivan? Sure? Judeliza? Josa, Jordan, Denise, Christopher? Naintindihan? So far, yes. Before we move on. Na-absorb natin yung lecture? Yes? Meron pa. Medyo nasa gitna pa lang tayo. Okay, moving on. Dahil na-gets daw nila, you have another kind of lighting which is the track light, more commonly used in museums. Track lights can be used to illuminate every space, from a dark hallway to an office or to highlight a beautiful artwork and family photos. No specific function, no specific place. Marami kang pwedeng pag-applyan ng track light depending on your taste, depending on how you use it. Usually sa stage, sa museums, sa kitchen, dun natin siya ginagamit. Very self-explanatory. You can also change the bulbs based on specifications. Usually, pag track lights, yung mga hindi available commercially sa market, usually you have suppliers that makes this from scratch. Pwede siyang i-made to order. I've worked with an LED supplier from China and Germany before. They can make whatever design you want. Just give them the specs. Any question on the track light? This is very basic. Wall sconce or sconce is a type of lighting fixture that's mounted to a wall. This is used as an accent lighting. This is used as a mood lighting, usually exterior than interior. So, usually upward and downwards yung pukol ng ilaw. If you're in a garden, sometimes meron siya sa lapag. Tapos ang bato ng ilaw niya ay pataas. So, you have your up light, down light. Yep. So, this is it. Any question with regards to sconce? Nothing. I think nagtagal lang tayo sa LED downlight because that's something that you have to really know. Kasi that's something that is widely used. Madami siyang application, marami siyang shapes, marami siyang sizes, marami siyang kulay, at marami siyang, well, marami kasi sa market na LED ngayon. And mostly, it's not just the bulbs anymore. You have the downlights na. People are slowly switching to that kasi it gives you more ceiling headroom. It gives you more clearance. Kasi instead of nakalawit siya, like when you do with a bulb in a receptacle, naka-mount na siya sa kisame niyo. Yes? Daphne, questions, comments, suggestions, violent reaction so far? Wala?
Wala po, ma'am.
Wala, naintindihan natin lahat. Joshua? Comments, questions, violent reactions? Wala? Sure kayo ha? Moving on. You have your LED strip light. What is this? An LED strip light is a ribbon type of light. It uses the same circuit board. Meron siyang driver. It has an LED driver, same as the LED downlight, may driver din siya. Before, it usually just comes in one color, pero ngayon multicolor na siya. Dahil marami ng improvement sa ating construction materials, meron na nga siyang remote control and all. You use LED strip lights mostly for cove lights, like this one. You make ceiling coves, or you make decorative coves like this one, very intricate, na hindi pwedeng pasukan ng T5 or T8 tubes. You know the tubes? The tube lighting, I did not include it here kasi hindi na siya madalas ginagamit. But we have the T5 and the T8 tube. Sometimes ginagamit din siya for cove lighting pag straight. Pero for this kinds of cove lighting, decorative cove lighting, very intricately done, you use a more flexible type of light, which is your LED strip. Okay? Everyone following? Arvin, you follow? Yes? Yes? Okay. So, LED strip, and then you have your decorative lighting. It could be floor lamps, it could be ceiling-mounted lights, it could be wall-mounted lights. It doesn't matter how it looks like, as long as your purpose, since we're just discussing kung ano siya, as long as it's decorative, it's not something used as a general lighting or an ambient lighting, it will fall onto decorative lighting. Copy, understood, noted, correct, yes? Yes. This is an important part of the lecture. Why am I saying this to you? Can anyone tell me what CCT means? Can anyone tell me what CCT means? Google na. Pauna ka na lang mag-Google yan.
Color-rated color temperature po ba, ma'am?
Sorry, ano?
Color-rated color temperature po.
Anong colorated? Correlated.
Correlated po.
Correlated color temperature. It's temperature. This is measured in kelvins. Remember in grade school science, anong star ang mas mainit? Anong kulay ng star ang mas mainit? Yung,
Bluish white po, ma'am.
ano, sorry?
Bluish white.
Bluish white. Sino yun? Sino yung nagsabi ng bluish white? Si Dexter. Dexter ka yun?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes, bluish white star. Yun ang pinakamainit. Correct. Yun ang pinakamainit. Sabi sa science. Sabi sa science. We don't have anything to disprove that. So, if you look at the photo, you have here 1000 Kelvin, your CCT, by the way. just means kung anong kulay ng ilaw. And your CCT is measured in Kelvin. The higher the Kelvin, mas mainit yung temperature niya, mas nagiging bluish-white siya. Okay? Gets? Copy? Noted? So, the more yellow it is, the more lower it is in the CCT Kelvin scale. You see this 1000 Kelvin is almost red. 9000 Kelvin is whiter. Diba? We have 3 commercially available color temperatures. You have the 6,500. Tari, nagbi-video si Adrian ng discussion. Send ko yung photo sa'yo, wag mo nang videohan. So we have 3 commercially available color temperatures. Nag-iikot ako ng mga naka-on cam, sorry. So may 3 commercially available color temperatures. Kaya you have the 6,500 Kelvin. That is your cool white. You have your 4,000 Kelvin, yung mid na daylight something. Then you have your 2,500 Kelvin, which is your warm white. Sometimes, other suppliers, ang sinasabi nila, ang warm white is the 2,500 Kelvin, which is between these two. Tapos ang sinasabi nilang cool white, ito daw 4,000. At ang daylight nila is yung 6,500. Okay? Medyo mali tayo doon, mga kaibigan. Or magkakaiba sila ng belief. Pero you just have to understand, you have to remember. You have to remember your color temperature kasi pag yun ang tinandaan nyo, hindi na kayo magkakamali-mali ng daylight, warm white, cool white. Kasi different suppliers, they tend to give different names. Again, this is cool white for others, but this is daylight for others. This is cool white for others, but daylight for others. Pero the warm white, we can all agree it's 2,500 Kelvin. Walang nagtalo doon. So for these two, it's better you just remember your color temperature para walang lituhan. Any questions, comments, suggestions so far? Questions, comments, suggestions, or masaya kayo sa lighting discussion natin today? Max, ikaw lang masaya. Okay, tapos na yung lecture natin, wala pa rin. Comments, questions, suggestions, violent reactions, nothing. Yes, now we can end the class early. Ay, pala kaya mahaba yung BU time natin. I remember, lecture and lab pala to. So, dapat pala talaga gumagawa kayo ng plates. Pero, dahil gusto ko nga matutunan nyo yung subject, hindi natin iasa sa paggawa ng plates. But, I'm now assigning your group reportings para at least may share kayo or may class participation lahat. Okay, kasi pag ako lang nagsasalita dito, kahit maintindihan niyo yung sinasabi ko, wala akong way to measure your grades. So, help me out. You gave me your groupings already. So, it's in the chat. Your groupings is in the chat. Let me just wait a second. Yeah.
Excuse me po.
Yeah.
Bali yung, di ba po last group na po, bali yung natira po, yun na po yung magkakagroup.
If they want, and if it's fine with them, sure. Okay lang daw silang,
Wala na
okay
pong
lang,
choice sila.
okay lang daw silang 5. Pero ako, in the spirit of fairness, gusto ko sana equal numbers. You decide on yourself if you want equal numbers or hindi. But I need a representative, not necessarily a leader from each group. Group 1, who is your representative?
Si Ivan po.
Ivan. Group 2. Group 2 is Ador, Junicio, Sanoy, Nunez, Sales, Trinidad, Nerpio, Uyanguren. Who is your representative?
Uyanguren po.
Uyanguren, okay. Naituro ko na.
Sikat po.
Sikat. Sikat ba o si Uyanguren?
Sikat na lang po.
Ayaw ni Adrian Kat. Is it fine with you?
Sige po, okay lang po.
Turo ka pa. Sa'yo rin babagsak. Okay. Group 3, who is your representative? Vina Rivera, Sabino Palaganas, Bactol, Manimtim, Bautista, and Arenas. Or Arenas. How do you read that? Representative for Group 3.
Rivera na lang po, ma'am.
Pumapayag si Rivera.
Opo, wala po magagawa.
Dexter, ikaw daw.
Sige po, ma'am.
Napilitan na siya. Group 4, Ballesteros, Bernardino, Caliwag, De Leon, Novella, Pascua, Santa Maria.
Adam po.
Adam Aaron, nasa
Si Kaliwag po.
where's Caliwag? I need Caliwag to agree.
Ay, alam po ba, ma'am? Si Bernardino na lang daw po.
Ma'am,
Ber-
hindi po. Kailan po?
Ayaw ni Jeffrey, ayaw ni Adam, wala kayong representative?
Si Jordan na lang po. Novelia.
Jordan, is it fine with you?
Sige po, ma'am.
Sige po, ma'am. Sige, Jordan, thank you. Yung last remaining, what's the surname of those last remaining 5?
Ma'am, isa-send na po sa JC.
Send mo na, please. Okay. Corpo Salcedo, Pancho, Peña, Fiel, Ramirez. Sino ang representative? I'm assuming ikaw.
Oh, ako na lang daw.
Oh, and gusto natin yung nagvo-volunteer dahil dyan +5 yung 5 group lang. Anyway, dahil yung 5 ay 5 lang sila, I will give the ECS report to them. The ECS report is your electrical symbols. You will need to report this to us next week. You have 1 hour, 45 minutes to an hour to do your report. And I will only give the topic a week in advance para fair sa lahat ng groups. Is that okay with you? I only give you 1 week to prepare. Kasi pag binigay ko lahat ng topics now, unfair yon sa mga nauna. Tapos yung dulo, ang haba ng time nila to prepare. Is that okay with everyone? Yes?
Yes po, ma'am.
Denise, since you're the representative for group 5, your topic is electrical symbols. You just give us anong symbol for outlet, anong symbol for light, anong symbol for switch. So that's the only thing you need to present. Up to you kung paano nyo ipe-present, but you have 45 minutes to 1 hour. Pero I suggest the class, read on your electrical symbols na. Okay?
Sige po, ma'am.
Alright, thank you, Denise. So next week, I will lecture and I will present sample electrical plans. Since we will be the symbols will be discussed by Denise, Denise's group, and then I'll show you some electrical plans from previous projects para we can all relate kung paano sila ginagamit, anong ibig sabihin pag yung ilaw nakakonect ng pa-curve yung linya or diretso yung linya. So next week, you will learn all of those. Okay? And I need you to review all your previous discussion. We might or we might not have an assessment next week, but it's best that you review kasi that's the only thing I'm asking from you guys. I'm not giving you plates, so you have all the time to review, to backtrack all the lectures. I've uploaded all the lectures in YouTube. I've uploaded all the PDF in our group chat, but you know what? Only 4 people have watched. Only 4 people have rewatched. So up to you kung paano nyo tingin na kaya nyong gawin yung mga topics natin. But yeah, if you have questions or anything, you need help on anything, you let me know. And then I think this ends our discussion for today. We finished earlier actually. Any questions so far? Or okay sa atin yung discussion natin on lighting? Yes? Naintindihan ng lahat? Hindi kayo maloloko ng electrician sa site? Alright. Sige, since everyone is confident that they know or that we know, let me just send the PDF now to the class before I forget. So this ends our meeting for today. You have until 1 p.m. for this subject to enjoy the rest of your weekend, and please study. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon.
Thank you po, ma'am.
God bless po.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.